Good morning, everyone. I'm Annabelle B. Saison from BTBTED FSM3A. I am one of the member for the Group 7. The other members are Kimiging Christine V, Salazar Christine V, Sanggalang Rian Concepcion P, and Paragoso Lenny. Before we will start our proper discussion, let's have a prayer. Let's put ourselves in the presence of Almighty God. Amen. Before we sit down, please arrange your chair and pick up some trashes under your chair. Thank you, class. Now, settle down. Is there anyone absent from the class today? Good to know that you're all present. Now, I have some rules to be followed before I start our class. Kindly read, Ma'am Tanyon. Thank you so much, Miss Tanyon. Yes, number 1 is listen. Number 2, raise your hand if you want to say something. Number 3, be respectful. And then number 4, don't speak when someone is talking. Are we clear, class? Yes, very good. And now, anyone can give me about the last discussion all about? Yes, Ma'am Clavano. Thank you, Ma'am Clavano. Very good. Our topic is all about CBT. Monitoring tools or competency-based training monitoring tools. And now, let's have our activity called Synonyms of Me. Synonyms of Me is different word but the same meaning or ideas. Are we clear, class? Yes, thank you. Very good. Give me synonym of dual. Yes, Ma'am Camacho. Yes, very good. Binary is one of the synonyms of dual. Thank you, Ma'am Camacho. For activity number 2, yes, Ma'am Kimiging. Yes, very good. Scope is one of the synonyms for coverage. Yes, for our number 3, the last word is training. Yes, Ma'am Paner. Yes, excellent. Schooling is one of the synonyms of training. Yes, thank you, Ma'am Paner. And now, how do you find our activity? Yes, Ma'am Tanyon. Yes, enjoyable. Anyone? Yes, very good. It is unique. In our activity, what do you think would be our topic for today? Yes, Ma'am Pael Mariano. Very good. It is all about supervising work-based training. Thank you, Ma'am Pael Mariano. How to use this competency-based learning material. Welcome to the module and Supervising Work-Based Learning. This module contains training materials and activities for you to complete. The unit of competency Supervising Work-Based Learning contains knowledge, skills, and attitudes required for trainers methodology 1. You are required to go through the series of learning activities in order to complete each learning outcome of the module. In each learning outcome are information sheets, self-checks, task sheets, and job sheets. This module is prepared to help you achieve the required competency and supervising work-based learning. A certificate of achievement will be awarded to you after passing the evaluation. You must pass the institutional competency evaluation for this competency before moving to another competency. For the training methodology 1, competency-based learning materials, the list of competencies. Unit of competency module title and code is the number 1 is plan training session. Facilitate learning session, supervise work-based learning, conduct institutional assessment, maintain training facilities, utilize electronic media in facilitating training. So, we are here for the number 3, supervise work-based learning. Module content. Module content, there are the qualification title, the trainer's methodology 1, unit of competency, supervise work-based learning, module title, supervising work-based learning. The module descriptor, this module covers the knowledge, skills, and attitudes required in order to supervise work-based learning process. This approach ensures learning through work activities, strategies, and to support workplace learning and work-based monitoring. For the learning outcomes, upon completion of this module, you must be able to establish training requirements for trainees, monitor work-based training, and review and evaluate work-based training effectiveness. And also the assessment criteria. Like for example, yung ginawa natin sa ating portfolio, assessment criteria is makukuha natin doon sa ating NC, yung sa TR natin. And then yung sa assessment criteria, doon natin nakukuha ang ating doon nakukuha sa performance criteria. So meron naman tayong idea guys, di ba? Yes, very good. Yun na yun siya, parang same lang. And the learning outcome number 1, establish training requirement. There are 5 content under the established training requirement. The work-based training, dual training system, industry linkage, training requirements, and training plan. And also the assessment criteria and the condition. Yung assessment criteria, doon pa rin natin makukuha sa ating, like for example sa TR natin, doon natin makukuha kung saan yung performance criteria. Na under sa, under doon sa learning outcomes na kinuha natin. So, mayroon siyang performance criteria na naka-indicate doon na bilong talaga sa kanya. And then the conditions, is the student trainee must be provided with the following: workplace location, equipment, computer, and training materials. Sa workplace location is like for example, yung sa TESDA, isa na yung parang workplace location niya, and then equipment. Ano bang ginagamit natin doon sa location na ginagamit natin is like computer. And then sa training materials, yung learning packages, bond papers, ball pens, whiteboard marker, manuals, competency standard, training regulations. And also the assessment methods, the written examination, demonstration with oral questioning, and the portfolio. Yung ginagawa natin kay Ma'am Ellen, example yun siya sa assessment method. And then the learning experiences, learning outcome establish learning requirements for the trainee. So, meron na din kayong idea, meron akong sample na ipapakita dyan para at least magkaroon kayo ng idea kung ano yung ginawa natin doon sa learning experiences. Parang same lang siya, pero yung dito naman sa atin is 40M. Yung sa kabila na yung sa ginawa natin is for ginawa natin ng example is yung sa TR natin, sa training regulation natin, sa NC natin. Okay, gets lang guys? Meron naman tayo lahat idea about sa learning experiences. And then, dito na tayo sa information sheet 41-1. The work-based training. The learning objectives. After the reading the information sheet, you must be able to define and explain work-based training and enumerate the objectives of work-based training. So, guys, what is work-based training? Anyone? Yes, Ma'am Tanyon. Yes, very good. Work-based training is one of the best components of the competency-based training. It is a training approach that aims towards the acquisition of the competencies and directly related to the actual industry practices. Yes, very good. And also, work-based training is a training delivery mode by which trainees are exposed in the workplace. Training shall be done in coordination with the industry training provider through Memorandum of Agreement, Training Agreement by ILDO. There are 7 types of work-based training. Number 1 is the job shadowing. Job shadowing is a school-supervised career exploration activity wherein trainees visit work sites and shadow employees as they perform their jobs. Kumbaga, mag-observe lang ang isang trainees or ang isang trainers doon sa isang establishment or workplace. Yan yung tinatawag na job shadowing. Internship, the second is the internship. Internship help trainees move from school to the workplace by offering a hands-on learning in real workplace settings over the relatively long period of time. So, alam naman natin kung anong ibig sabihin ng internship. Meron na tayong idea. And then the third is the apprenticeship program. It is a training and employment program involving construct between an apprentice and an employer on approved apprenticeable occupation. Generally, it aims to provide a mechanism that will ensure availability of qualified, skilled workers and based on the industry requirements. So, yung dito naman is sa apprenticeship, yung naalala ko yung sa mga seaman, di ba? Yung nag-apprentice sila. Apo. Yes, very good. And then the fourth one is the learnership program. It is a practical training on the job for approved learnable occupation for period exceeding 3 months. Only companies with TESDA approved and registered learnership program can hire learners. So, yun yung parang ano lang siya sa, under din siya, parang ano din siya sa TESDA. Parang, like for example, is yung tutulong, like yung example, yung mga school na under sila sa TESDA, isa yun siya doon. And then the dual training system, the fifth types of work-based training. The dual training system, it is instructional mode of delivery for technology-based education and training in which learning takes place alternatively in two venue, the school or training center and the company. Like for example, nagtitrain ka doon sa school and then pupunta ka din sa doon sa kabila kasi meron din yung tinatawag nilang yung like for example lang, yung self-paced learning or sa school mismo merong pre-assessment and then doon mismo sa TESDA mismo. Parang gano'n, parang merong alternative kung saan ka pwede. And then the sixth is the school-based enterprise. A school-based enterprise or SBS typically involve trainees in the management of a business that produce or sells goods and services as part of a school program. Like for example, yung sa mga entrepreneurship, 'di ba, yung like hindi lang sa kahit sa atin like mga sa FSM, 'di ba? Meron kaming major na kailangan namin magbenta para makita kung nag-improve ba kami, meron ba kaming ginansya or lugi ba kami. So doon siya magbe-base kung magkano yung punan and magkano yung magiging income. Yun yung tinatawag na school-based enterprise. And then the last one is the objectives of work-based training. There are 6 but I will give you only the first one. So I will elaborate na lang, no? To expand, two objectives the work-based training are as follows. To expand the enhance the trainees learning through planned career experience and actual work settings. So to help the trainees make the transition from the school to work and career. To teach the environment of work and then to increase the trainees' awareness and appreciation of the relevance of basic, common, and core competencies as they apply to their qualification, occupational choice. To provide the trainees with opportunities to potential career placement and their occupational choice. To project a positive image for the trainees through involvement in business and industry. Did you understand, guys? It is understandable naman, di ba? About the objectives of work-based training, kung ano talaga yung objectives talaga para sa work-based training. And then the definition of terms. The career experience is a planned and progressive educational program by combining academic studies with on-the-job experiences. And then the career is the general course of progression of one's working life or one's professional achievements. Yung example, yung career, magiging team ka, yun talaga yung magiging career mo. And then the placement is finding the suitable accommodation employment for application. Like for example, TM ka for like for example, meron tayong qualification sa food processing ka ba, sa garments ka ba, or sa electrical ka ba, yung parang ganon, meron siyang yung placement niya minimin kung saan ka talaga belong. Under the established training requirements, the number 2 is the dual training system. The learning objectives for the dual training system, after the reading information sheet, you should be able to define dual training system. Enumerate the objectives of the Dual Training System Act of 1994. The dual training system in the Philippines and a training modality that is guided by Republic Act number 7686. This act provides the legal guidelines in its implementation. So what is the Republic Act number 7686? This is what we call the Dual Training System Act. So, the dual training system in the Philippines exerts the textbook Boss Manila Bulletin May 7, 2010 as published in the TESDA website. Adaptation from the German model is one of the more prepared training modality for enterprise-based training in the Philippines today is the dual training system being implemented by the TESDA. Anyone can read or share your ideas about dual approach and training? Yes. Yes, Ma'am Pail Mariano. Yes. Yes, thank you. The dual approach and education and training has been put to work in such country programs and apprenticeship, on-the-job training, supervised industry training, and practicum and internship. The German model of this was first introduced in the Philippines in 1990s through a joint project of the Southeast Asian Science Foundation and the Hans Sidel Foundation and the Pioneer School Dual Tech Training Center. And the dual tech experience is replicated in select public and private technical schools nationwide by the Bureau of Technical and Vocational Education in 1991. And also in February 1994, President Fidel V. Ramos signed into the Law Republic Act number 7686 or the Dual Training System Act of 1994, which calls for the institutionalization of the TTS is accredited public and private educational institution, training centers in agricultural, industrial, and business establishment. Under the DTS law, TESDA is mandated to promote, coordinate, and administer in the dual training system. The school industry partnership component of the system and a vital determinant of the program success and effectiveness. So, hindi lang siya basta-basta ginagawa yung about sa dual system, kung hindi, batas din siya talaga. Ito ay nilagdaan ni President Fidel V. Ramos noong 1994. So, hindi lang siya basta-basta na ginagawa lang siya, kung hindi, ito ay implemented by the law. And then, two training venues. And the school trainee learns basic trade, industry work values, and citizenship, safety-related theory, subject, and mathematics, drawing, and social science. So, and then at the company of the workshop and the trainees learn job skills through practical exercises using state-of-art technology. Aside from the technical skills, the trainees also learn good work habits and how to get along with others. So, ito yung tinatawag na two training venues. Dalawang area, mayroon tayong matutunan sa school and then meron din mismo sa company. Like for example, sa school, doon natin natutunan yung basic lang. Basic, like for example, kung paano tayo makipag-socialize, makikihalubilo, at paano natin matutunan yung simple mathematics, yun, yung drawing, basta, yun yung parang sa isa sa venue. And then the company is, doon na talaga gagawa na tayo mismo doon kung saang part tayo, like for example, yung skills para ma-enhance na talaga siya doon. Yun yung parang sa company and the school. The provision of the Republic Act 7686 called the Dual Training System Act of 1994 will enlighten you with how government and the industry help in the industry training. And then the Republic Act number 7686 February 25, 1994. Dual Training System Act of 1994, an act of strengthened manpower education and training in the Philippines by institutionalizing the dual training system as an instructional delivery system of technical and vocational education and training, providing the mechanism appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. So, in dual training system, there are 22 sections. So, number 1 is the short title. It is the dual training system. And then the section 2, declaration of policy. It is hereby declared the policy of state strengthen manpower education and training in the country so that the latter will be assured of an ever-growing supply of uneducated and skilled manpower equipped with appropriate skills and desirable work habits and attitudes. So, the number 3 section is the objectives. The objectives is encourage increasing utilization of dual system and technical vocational educational training by both in public-private schools within the context and existing education system. And then under the section 3 objectives is also the encourage increasing levels of investment. And then the C is enhance the employability and productivity of graduates by equipping them with analytical and creative thinking and problem-solving abilities. And then last is the strengthen training cooperation between agricultural and industrial business establishment and educational institution. And then the section 4, definition of terms. The purpose of this act of the following is shall mean appropriate authority Appropriate authority refers to the government entity in charge of formal, technical, and vocational educational training. And the dual training system, as what I have mentioned earlier. And then the trainees. The trainee, tayo, yung mga trainee. And then the establishments. Yung mga establishment na nangailangan, like mga schools, kailangan nila ng mga PM. Isa din, nangailangan sila like sa mga students, merong kailangan matutunan nila yung magiging isang PM. And then, accredited. Dapat, accredited yung isang school na mag-handle for PM or isang like sa TESDA. Accredited sila. And then, the section 5 is the institutionalization of the dual training system. The dual training system, hereinafter referred to as the system, is hereby is institutionalized in the Philippines accordance with the provisions of this act. So, Section 6 is the coverage. Apply the public and private educational institutional training centers. The Section 7, planning and coordination. Kailangan nakaplan and then appropriate din talaga siya doon sa isang like appropriate authority shall plan, set and standard, coordinate, monitors, allocate resources and support the implementation of the system. And then, Section 8 is the status of trainee. For the duration of the trainee under the system, the trainee is to be considered not an employee of the business industrial establishment, but rather a trainee of both accredited dual training systems and agricultural, industrial, and business establishment. So, pag meron ng yung status ng isang trainee is hindi siya magiging tinatawag na trabahante. Isa siyang trainee. Iba yung sa trabahante as a trainee. And then, the Section 9, incentives and participating establishment to encourage agricultural, industrial, and business establishment to participate in the system. These shall be allowed to deduct from their taxable income amount of 50% of the system expenses paid to the accredited dual training system institutional of the establishment trainees. So, meron silang parang percentage dapat nakadidak na 50%. And then, Section 10, obligation of accredited agricultural, industrial, and business establishment. Agricultural, industrial, and business establishment shall be, meron siyang subtopic dito na merong 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Meron siyang 9. One is to ensure the necessary abilities, appointment and training officer to implement the training plan, and then so on. And then the Section 11, obligation of the trainee. So, obligation of the trainee shall exert every effort to acquire the abilities and knowledge necessary for him to achieve the purpose of his training. And then, Section 12, obligation of the accredited educational institutional training centers is the educational institutional training centers have entered into a memorandum of agreement with agricultural, industrial, or business establishment to undertake training. And then, meron na naman siyang another subtopic. And then to be followed by the Section 13, non-diminution of incentives. Nothing in this act shall be construed to diminish or reduce any privilege already enjoyed by the parties concerned under the existing laws, decrees, or executive orders. And then the Section 14, signing of the Memorandum of Agreement by the accredited dual training system, agricultural, industrial, and business establishment. The accredited dual training system, educational institution training center, NB. The trainee before the individual establishment begins with the accredited educational institution training center and the trainee or his representative. The individual establishment shall provide the accredited educational institution training center and the trainee with a copy of the signed agreement. So parang ganun pa rin no, yung kumukuha ng NC, meron talaga siyang mga sinusunod, hindi lang siya basta-basta like meron siyang like for example kung sa atin magkukuha tayo ng NC, ano bang kailangan, 'di ba, yung mga like hindi naman required, yung iba kasi is required sa school, yung iba naman is dahil out of school use, yung parang livelihood program. So meron din silang mga ganon. And then the Section 15 is insurance coverage of the trainee. Every agricultural, industrial, and business establishment undertaking training in accordance with the provision of this act shall sign the life and or accident insurance policy of the life trainee with the insured and the spouse, children, or the friends of the trainee as the beneficiaries. Section 16, revolving fund. Any law or regulation to the contrary not withstanding the accredited dual training system educational institution training center is hereby authorized to retain as revolving fund and the amount paid to it by the agricultural, industrial, and business establishment representing the actual dual training expenses. The fund shall be used to improve the operation of the dual training system. So, hindi lang siya basta-basta, kung hindi, meron silang improvement din, ginagawa nila ng paraan. Like for example ngayon, sa example lang time of pandemic, meron din silang way kung paano nila mabigyan ng pansin kung ano yung problema. And then the section number 19 is the appropriation. For the initial implementation of this act, an amount of 1 million pesos shall be charged against the current year appropriation of the contingency fund. It's as may be necessary for its continued implementation shall be included in the annual general appropriation act. So meron din silang budget, sa sariling budget na galing din sa government, yung sa government. Hindi lang siya basta-basta na iniipunan, kung hindi meron talaga siyang specific budget para doon sa specific na implementation nila para sa like sa PM. Meron silang or sa meron silang funds na nakatuon talaga para lang doon na specific needs nila. And then the section 20, separability clause. If any reason, any provision of this act is declared invalid or unconstitutional, the rest shall not be affected thereby. So, hindi lang siya basta-basta kung hindi. Pag mayroon siyang, like for example, may kakulangan ng isa, hindi din madadamay lahat. And then, a repealing clause. All laws, decrees, order, rules, and regulation or parts thereof inconsistent with this act are hereby repealed or modified accordingly. And then the section 2, effectivity. This act shall take effect and completion of its publication in the official gazette and or 2 newspaper or general circulation. So, hindi lang siya basta-basta ginagawa, kung hindi, meron din silang sinusunod na batas para at least naaayon din sa requirements, naaayon sa batas, naaayon siya sa ating saligang batas ng Pilipinas. So, any questions, clarification, violent reaction, guys? Yes, we are all done. That's all my topic, class. Thank you for your listening and participation. The next topic under the supervising work-based training will be discussed the second reporter, Miss Christine Kimiging. She will be discussing the third established training requirements and so on.